This is Pet Life Radio. Let's talk pets.
Hey everybody, welcome to Groomer Humor on Pet Life Radio. We are your hosts. I'm Rudy V, along with Anthony Ray. Guys, this is a very, very special show. We have a special guest with us today. We got Erica Salvemini from Just for Paws Pet Spa and Academy. Erica's a good friend of ours, very insightful. She's a fellow groomer. We got her on the show, and we got all of that coming up, and we're going to listen to what Erica has to say in this episode of Groomer Humor.
She became overweight, stinky, several vertebrae fused together. Sophie was going to be euthanized.
DINOVITE.com.
I remember Sophie starting the Dinovite. She has loved it. She is no longer stinky. She is full of life.
Dinovite is nutrition.
Get them on Dinovite right away while they're healthy.
You won't believe how happy your dog will
I
be.
get my Dinovite from DINOVITE.com.
Let's Talk Pets on PetLifeRadio.com.
And welcome back to Groomer Humor. Once again, we're your hosts. I'm Rudy V, along with Anthony Ray. Ant, man, how are you doing? Before we talk to Eric, I need to talk to you a little bit, Ant, because barbershops are just opening up, man. Is that good news for you?
Oh yeah, I'm starting to feel a bit ape-like. So yeah, it's. But here's the thing, though, dude. I don't know if I want to cut my hair just yet.
Really? You look like a gorilla.
I do. Except thanks to you, I don't have hair on the back of my legs. Sorry, I might have. I was away from the mic for a second there, looking at the back of my legs because they're bare, thanks to you. Because for some reason you don't have hair on your legs.
Hair. No,
you have no hair.
Nope. No hair. I'm very hairless.
Yeah.
I don't know why that happened. I have the thing is though, because of my varicose veins, and no hair, the varicose vein is very prevalent. You know, you can see it. It's I wish I did have some hair on my leg. At least my right leg.
Right. Yeah.
I wish my whole right
lot.
leg was just full of hair. Yeah. So you're hairless.
Well, here's the thing, too. It gets noticed all the time. It's not even something where it's oh, well, at least nobody notices. I get asked all the time in the summer if I'm wearing shorts, dude, how come you don't have any hair on the back of your legs? It's the front of your legs are totally hairy and you got no hair on the back of your legs. Every time.
Wait till you start getting a bald spot, that crown balding on the top of your head, because that's also very hairless.
Right. That's the whole thing. I currently don't have the monkey butt on my head.
Of your head. Yeah.
And that's the thing. It's do I really cut? I have such long hair right now due to everything that's been going on. So do I really want to chop it all off, or do I want to enjoy these flowing locks?
Yeah. I would enjoy it because you know why? You're not going to fare well when you start going bald. You are not going to do as good as I am.
I'm just going to shave my head when that happens.
Yeah, and then you're going to look like a pumpkin head.
Thanks.
Yeah.
I better lose some weight first.
Yeah, because you look like a basketball.
I'm more of a volleyball, but whatever.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I don't know the difference.
Well, whatever it is. This is going to be an interesting show, though, today, because we got Erica Salvemini, and talk about insight, man. Erica is awesome. So
Erica's pretty profound. So she blows my mind every time we talk to her. So I'm really looking forward.
She's deep. You guys have to listen to the show because she does. Erica does Reiki, which is amazing. She works with energies. She needs to work with your energy, Anthony. You have do you have bad energy, Ant?
I mean, sometimes, I don't know.
Really?
Yeah.
I think when you eat Taco Bell, your energy gets, or that could just be your digestive system. That might not be your energies. No, you have good energy. It's just what you eat.
Well, the Taco Bell definitely gets my endorphins going. But then
for 30 seconds. You know what? You better talk to Erica about that. When we bring Erica on, you better talk to her about that. But I have a feeling we're not going to have time, but maybe at another show you might have to talk to her about that.
No, what's going to happen? I'll tell you what's going to happen. Erica's so profound. It's a shame. You know what I should have did? I should have picked up some Taco Bell because I already know I'm not going to be saying much this episode because when Erica talks, I just like to listen.
Me too.
I should have got some food.
Exactly. That's what I'm going to do. I'm just going to listen. We'll ask a couple questions. We let her roll because Erica's deep like that. So
she's a lot smarter than us. So
that without question. Yeah, but it's good to have it's good to have some insightful people so that we can get out of our stupidity here. But all right, guys, so let's get into this. Introducing Erica Salvemini, our good friend. Hey, Erica, how you doing?
Hi, guys. I'm great. How are you today? Thanks so much for having me.
Absolutely. Thanks for taking the time to talk to us, Erica. We've been meaning to, get you back on as a guest for the longest time, but with everything that's happened, the obvious, the COVID-19 hitting the ground running has really put a halt to a lot of businesses, including ours. The grooming industry was shut down for a while, so we're really happy to have you on the show and talk a little bit about how it has affected you. So obviously you were shut down too. So let's talk a little bit about that. When were you shut down? How did it affect you, Erica? And let's get right into that.
Yeah, it's been quite interesting for the world, actually, right? Since, for us, it started in March here in New Jersey. And I'd say the 17th of March is probably when I shut down the first time. And that was I did it a few days earlier than some, but I knew it was coming. So we kind of started to wrap up and, my staff was already not comfortable. I had 2 little boys at home and I was going to have to start homeschooling the next day. So with those decisions, with those things happening, we made the decision to close down. It just seemed to be the right thing to do. And then, it was by government, order, mandate that we were not essential businesses and everybody was closing down. So we did that.
Sure.
That was, a whirlwind. And then you just go from that into whatever you're dealing with in your own life. In my life personally, at the time, it happened to be, I had 2 little boys to homeschool and you start figuring that out. And then I would say it was the first week of May, when the week before the government had decided that we were essential businesses. Grooming was a necessity. So by, following CDC guidelines and doing things on a limited basis, we've decided that, okay, let's try this. So my business, Just for Paws in Lyndhurst, we decided that we would try and open back up. I had to pack up my boys and send them to go stay with their dad for a couple of weeks. He was in Princeton, just so that I could reopen my business and see what this was going to be like. Unfortunately, I was met with the new challenge of not being able to get staff back. I was able to get my right hand, Angela, who's our client services manager and also Academy, assistant director. So with her and I, that was great. And I'm, obviously a groomer. I've been grooming a lot of years, but I have stepped away from grooming for a while just to be running the business and not so much be in the business. So I decided I would come back, get back at my table and start grooming, which I loved. And it was wonderful to be able to get back and help with, because honestly, I knew that it was going to be needed. It had been about 6 weeks, I think, that we were closed at that time. So, dogs that were already matted and needed to get groomed. And, you guys know from your experience, springtime is when all the dogs are matted anyway. So
sure. Oh, yeah. Let me jump in real quick, Erica. Sure. I want to ask you this. How did you feel when we were deemed non-essential? How did that make you feel? And how was it coming back after not grooming for so long? Because I know how it affected me and I just want your opinion. So first question is, how did you feel when we were deemed non-essential? And then how was it coming back after not grooming all that time?
Sure. So the thing about us not being non-essential, I think it just goes to the point that what we do, there's such a misunderstanding about grooming in general and what we do for animals. I've had countless people contact me just, not only when are you coming back? We miss you, we need you, but also some statements about, wow, I had no idea what you guys do. Like I'm faced for the first time with having to tend to my pet, and everything from, wow, this is eye-opening, to holy cow, my dog is insane and I don't know how you guys do this, to, and then of course you have the small group of people who just aren't, they have trouble handling their own life situation, I think. And so they might not be as kind or empathetic towards us as people who work and take care of their pets out of the goodness and kindness of our hearts. So they're just like, well, when are you coming back? And it's like, well,
right.
we've got stuff going on too. And so, you got to understand it all. And you just say, well, this is what it is. I'm kind of a believer in you can't control what you can't control. So if it's completely out of my hands, well, then I can't, there's really no point in me getting upset or, know.
I think most people realized how essential we were very quickly. Based on what you're saying and our experience as well. But so the second part of that question, like after being shut down for 6 weeks or more, how was it coming back? Like, because I know I was caught up, Anthony and I both were just caught up in this lull of laziness and not handling dogs. And it was really, really, really rough for us to come. How did that affect you coming back the first day after not doing it for so long?
Rough. Yeah. It was rough for a number of different reasons. And I understand exactly what you're saying, because you get into, and then there's the whole psychological thing behind, we have to take a look at what this COVID quarantining global pandemic has done to each of us individually.
Sure.
We have to stop and say, hey, I'm a human being. I have emotions. I have, thoughts. I have feelings, and I am affected to some degree. I don't care what it is. We're all affected to some degree, and it's individualized. So everybody gets affected differently based on our life situations and what we've been through in our lives. How do we cope? What kind of, coping mechanisms do we use on a daily basis? That kind of stuff. And then there's the having to go back to work, and what else do you have hanging at home? And if you don't have too many other stressors, then that's pretty good. But if you do, I happen to have some situations going on that made it a little bit difficult to go back. So there's layers, I guess is what I'm saying. There was layers of challenge for me in particular. My kids one's adopted, one's biological. So they're both 11. One's 11 and a half. So I have to say that because people scratch their heads and go, what? So they're both very different. One has special needs, and because he was a sickly child, and then the other one is gifted and talented. So I have these unusual life circumstances that I'm constantly juggling, but that's just me and who I am. And then I've got the fact that I do Reiki and I'm empathic. So when I went back to work, something I didn't expect to have happen was I'm picking up on all of these energies from these animals that I had never experienced before. And there are a lot of the heaviness and the struggle and the strife. And so I found myself, I don't know if you know what Palo Santo is, but it's like sage, when you burn sage and you like cleanse your space and clear the air. I was doing that a lot more in my shop and giving Reiki to the animals before I started working on them, because the end of my first day of going back to work, I had like this emotional breakdown, and I didn't understand why. I had to meditate. I had to go deep into it. And then I realized, holy crap, I'm absorbing all of these animals' energies, which I did to an extent before, but and also the parents, you talk to them on the phone. So there was a blessing in disguise to be able to check in on curbside and not have everybody in your shop too, only because it was, if there's so many energies swirling in the world today, it's just the fact. It's not, oh, this person's bad, that person's bad, or they're trying to hurt me. It's just, this is just what it is.
Yeah, I agree with you on taking the dogs in curbside and having that personal space for a while just to wean back into it, because I agree 100% with what you're saying. You really, I think a part of it is we had to reassess all of those energies too when dealing with live animals and just what's going on in our personal life, as you mentioned. I think we just needed that time alone without dealing with too much, customer interaction. We really needed to focus on just kind of connecting with the dogs again. I think that's definitely a big part of what you're saying.
Yeah, I think they were, they were struggling a lot. If you believe in this stuff, I mean, I think today most everybody's going to say they're not the same person anymore. You went into this COVID thing and everybody has changed or transformed. I don't care on what level, but on some level. And it's happening with the animals too. And so they're absorbing, we're all in each other's spaces in our homes, with our parents, our siblings, our animals, our whatever it is, whoever you live with and whatever environment you have. And the animals were coming back more tweaked than ever before. And so and just like we are, so like you said, it's good to have the break from having to deal with the extra input of people too.
Yeah, a lot of people are just referring to it as like the new Earth theory,
Yeah.
and just a whole new paradigm or realm that we're entering in. And I
I love
totally
that.
agree. Yeah, and we're with you. That's why we love having you on the show, because Anthony and I talk about it all the time, just the whole new Earth thing, and it's all good, but like anything, we have to go through some bad to get to the good, right, Anthony?
Transitions are never comfortable, right?
No, but
Yeah,
they always
yeah.
work out. Yeah.
Yeah, they worked. I remember when all this first started, I had like this week of, it felt like a 7-day long anxiety attack, and I've never felt anything like that before. It was very strange, and maybe there was just, I mean, probably for the obvious reasons of, just too much going on. I was afraid. This was all so new, and like you had just said, Erica, like there was just like sort of like this new perspective of everything all at once came rushing to me, and it was like this like entire week of like I felt like I was dying or dead or like a rebirth kind of. It was very strange. Yeah, very strange. Like a transition.
Yep.
Yeah, and then it was weird. It was like I woke up one day and it was just different. I just felt different, but now not in a anxiety way, now in more of like a perspective way and an appreciation way. I guess it's hard to put into words, but yeah, a transition is the best, like you guys just said, is the way I felt, I guess, when this all first started, and then I sort of started feeling better. It felt like a transition, like a completely different planet. That's really what it felt like.
I agree. And it doesn't, none of that sounds crazy. It resonates with me completely. I understand.
Sure. Yeah, that's why we, again, Erica, we love having you on the show, because we feel like we're crazy and we like crazy. Obviously, I think that whatever you want to call us, crazy people are actually coming together in mass droves now. So
if the light
like
is crazy, then call me crazy, because I'm with you.
Yeah,
love and light. It's the most powerful energies in the universe, and it's going to cure us and heal us. And I have my own opinions on what COVID really is, and sort of a mass karmic cleansing that we are experiencing and needed to have happen. And it's not over, and it will continue. And those who are able to see through the veils and are willing to do the hard work and the changes that are required of them, of us, each of us individually, personally, as well as then, on the macro. So like you talked about, Anthony, you talked about going through this like transition, this like incredible change and metamorphosis that you're saying that it's happened to me, it's happened to my husband, it's happening to my kids, it's happening to my neighbors, it's happening to my friends, it's happening everywhere. And it's a beautiful, amazing thing, but no one can explain it, right? Because these things are, unless you are already in those kinds of metaphysical fields or studying neural feedback stuff, and I don't even understand all of the terminology for it, but there's so much cool science that's coming out of it too. And all I know is we're going to be better off for it on the other side of it. So I'm trying to not, talk about panic attacks. I'd never had a panic attack or experienced one in my life. And I just had my first one a few weeks ago. And then you have to go through that and understand, well, what is that? What does that mean? And why is this happening to me now? I have to, so you start to study and understand and go deeper, and all the answers lie within ourselves. All of us, we have our brain, which is our computer, and then our body, for however long we take care of it, will help us, and be the machine to drive all this. And so we've got our mission in life, whatever that is, and we're all going to figure that out. I think that's what's coming.
Right. Yeah, without question, there's just a huge spiritual awakening happening. And when you incorporate that with, your personal life, obviously you have a lot on your plate there, Erica. And I applaud you for everything you're doing, especially with 2 young boys and running your business. And again, I think people also need to understand what we do with dog grooming. We have to really put all of that together, and it's very difficult. I think internally it's a difficult thing to do, to process it and be a good dog groomer and try to connect with dogs and dog owners who are also going through the metamorphosis. So I think that there's no such thing as a dog groomer that just doesn't have a lot on their plate. And I think that maybe in a way God chooses us to do what we do because we can handle it, or we at least try our best.
Yeah.
And again, talking to you is just like a breath of fresh air because you just know exactly what we're feeling because you're a dog groomer. And I haven't met many dog groomers that haven't had a challenge on their plate there. And again, it's a joy to connect with you on this level, Erica. And we knew that, I think, the first time we ever met at the show and all of that. It was
We
kind of like,
clicked.
you know what?
Yeah.
We clicked and it's a beautiful thing. But where do you have two young sons here, so how are you juggling that?
Well, you find ways to do things. I am married. My husband became unemployed before COVID happened, and
Okay.
he was working on transitioning himself into another career and role. And so I was lucky enough to be able to have help there, but I still have to be home and I still have to, school my kids, right? Because they're not his kids. And so there's support, and that's wonderful. But
Right.
my business is my own and my kids are my own. So I do still have to have that be there and be available. And and I don't like to do things half-hearted. I want to do
Sure.
what I do all the way and do it the right way. And so because of the forced shutdown, it was almost kind of like it was so difficult, but because it was forced upon me, there was nothing I could do about it except try to get staff back. And without being able to do that, and then you go to, well, let me try and hire people. And that didn't work either, because I'm sure everybody's doing the same thing. Everybody's got the same situation going on. So except for the few who maybe haven't applied for unemployment, and so they don't care and they'll go and work wherever. And it wasn't working out like that for me. So I put all of my efforts into being at home and working and focusing on my kids. And now I will spend the rest of the time the summer to try and refocus on, well, okay, so what am I now? Am I still a grooming business? Am I going to be just a grooming academy? How do we continue and further transition to become the new whatever we are? So it's not easy. I meditate a lot, dudes. Like I can't tell you enough. I've had more, and even with that, it's like, you talk about having, I have to go back to it, that, anxiety, panic attacks, stress, things that you've maybe never had to deal with in your life. And now we're supposed to be at home and we're supposed to be protected and safe, but yet, well, why are these things happening? Right. So you have to stop and look at all that. And so I've been doing that over the last, where are we now? It's March, April, May, June. It's been 3 months. We're all home and so it's not just transition for business, but it's a transition and the personal metamorphosis. So I've been doing that along the way and meditating along the way and trying to ascend and elevate and evolve and understand all of these things better so that I can juggle and so that I can balance myself and stay grounded and not get upset that I don't have staff coming back, not get upset that people don't understand that I have, serious things in my life. So I can't just come back and groom everybody's dog, things like that. So I don't think I did it perfectly on every single day. I'm sure I was nasty and snapped at some people along the way. I'm sure I cried a bunch of times, more than maybe I needed to.
Sure. But
when it's all said and done, it's okay, because at least we're looking at our issues. We're trying to deal with them, and we're trying to deal with them in a positive manner instead of taking it out on other people or on our animals or on the strangers in the street or trying to drive somebody off the road. So that's how I'm coping. I'm coping by keeping myself together and keeping myself sane, because I figure if I stay sane and I'm good and I'm grounded, then I can do and serve, and I can continue serving my children, my home, my husband, my pets. Then, you go a little bit further outside of that. And then you say, your town and the society and the animals and, my business and the employees. And that's it. I just try every day. And that's how I manage.
I think you're doing a phenomenal job, Erica, and we just commend you and all dog groomers alike.
That's all anybody can do, right? Everybody's trying. Everybody's in the same boat. We literally are all one, because everybody the playing field has been leveled for everyone. It doesn't matter if you're rich, if you're poor. I say, and then you look, and then there's all this stuff going on in the streets and in the world. Talk about, switching gears, but right. So there's all this civil unrest, but that's what's going to happen during times like this. People are coming alive. People are awakening. People are realizing it's enough. I'm mad as hell and I can't take it anymore, that's right. Next is going to be the animals. That's where I'm going to take the stand. When that revolution rolls around, guys, I don't know if you're going to be out there, but I'll be out there with you, and I'll be working elbows to elbows with you with my signs, and I will protest. And I say animals are sentient beings, and we should be doing that. The same thing that New Zealand just passed that law. Could you imagine that New Zealand is that amazing that they just did that? So we need to do that.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, it just happened. So
wow,
yeah.
Well, we're definitely going to be on the front line with you, Erica, because it's important to us as well. And so okay, guys, we're sitting here with our good friend Erica Salvemini, Just for Paws Pet Spa and Academy. We're going to go to break, and when we come back, we're going to talk a little bit more with our good friend Erica.
Hey guys, Rudy and Anthony again. Over these last couple of months, we have gotten an entirely new perspective on how much joy dogs truly bring to our lives. And that's what we want you guys to think about for a minute. Think about how much joy your dog has truly brought to your life, particularly during these last few difficult months. We have a great way for you to show how much you truly care. Give your dog a Kong Box subscription. With a Kong Box subscription, your dog gets 2 great toys, 3 delicious treats, and 2 recipes or tips delivered right to your door every month or every other month. Kong's been making top-quality dog toys and pet products since 1970. Now you can have their best products customized for your dog and delivered right to your door.
Yeah, guys, the day we received our Kong Box, we were so excited to open it up. We figured, why not try it out on the dogs here at the grooming shop? They went so crazy. They loved the toys and treats so much, we ended up giving the entire Kong Box away to our clients that day.
So for a limited time, when you sign up for a 6 or 12-month subscription and donate $1 to Best Friends Animal Society to help other dogs in need, you get your first box free. So what you're going to do is you're going to go to kongbox.com/groomerhumor and get your first box free with your subscription and $1 donation. If you and your dog don't absolutely love your box, you can cancel your subscription for a small fee, which we all know isn't going to happen. You just can't beat the value and convenience of a Kong Box subscription, so help a dog in need, and your first box is free. Go to kongbox.com/groomerhumor. That's kongbox.com/groomerhumor.
Let's talk pets
Let's talk pets
on Pet Life Radio.
Pet Life Radio.
PetLifeRadio.com.
Welcome back to Groomer Humor on Pet Life Radio. We are your hosts. I'm Anthony Ray, hanging out with my dad, Rudy V, and our very good friend from Just for Paws Pet Spa and Academy, Erica Salvemini. And before we went to break, Erica, you said something that made a lot of sense to me that I liked. We were kind of forced through this entire situation to face problems head on, almost like to their bare bones, because everything got sort of stripped away all at once. Like me personally, if I had a bad day at work or just anything that stressed me out, you know, what I do, what anybody does, you have a beer or you watch a baseball game or something. And that played a big role in when I started to transition into this new perspective of everything. And, you know, I'm talking about this because grooming had played a major role in it too. But yeah, that played a big role in it for me, where all of a sudden everything I knew up to that point in my life sort of just went away. All of a sudden, your sanctity at home, I didn't feel safe anywhere. Feel safe at work. I didn't feel safe at home. Couldn't watch the Mets, even though I'm not sure why I would want to begin with. And, couldn't, I was much too nervous to have a beer and forget about it. You know, this was bigger than just a bad day at work. This was all of a sudden a pandemic. But I like what you said, that it was the growth that happens from when you're literally forced to transition or gain a new perspective or face your problems directly in the face. It was actually, now that I'm looking at it, almost like a positive thing, like where it's like, that's when things get done, when you do get mad or when you do see things for what they really are. I just wanted to know your thoughts on that. Like, do you agree sort of with what I'm saying?
Yeah, I agree so much. It resonates with me. It's super powerful. You know, you're talking about transitioning. When you transition into a new perspective, everything you knew went away. The safety that you knew went away. I mean, that was huge. I felt like the bottom was dropping out for me. And I look around now and I say, well, I didn't have to feel like that, but yet that was the feeling. And it doesn't matter if it really was happening or not, because when you're in that moment that's gripping you, you feel like your life's ending, right? So you got everything was changing and nothing was working, right? You couldn't watch the Mets, you couldn't have a beer, I couldn't meditate enough, and things that I used to do that were helping wouldn't help. And then, like you said, all of a sudden it's like you go to sleep after a week of torture, and one day finally you wake up and it's quiet. And somehow, somewhere, some way you managed to find peace in all of it. And you did the work, you thought it through, it was happening. And here we are on the other side of it, and we can talk about it and feel like I am different. I did grow, and the opportunities absolutely come out of the biggest challenges. I don't care what they are, but that's where the greatest things in life, they're born out of. I've been through enough challenges and struggle. One day we'll have a beer and I'll tell you about it. But when you have enough when you have enough material to go on, you start to see a pattern, and opportunities are boundless now. I see for all of us, and it's wonderful. So it's scary as hell when it's happening, and you sometimes you forget those things when it's happening, because you're just like, everything is. Right. You can't do something as simple as getting up and texting your mom to see how she's feeling, or open your mail because it's too much. Whatever. Right. And then all of a sudden you manage, and it's all better. And it is all better. And it gives you perspective for the next time, the next challenge that comes up, the next time you're triggered.
Let's talk about that the optimism of it, with everything, the shutdown that occurred and all of the positive feedback that we got as, being, essential. Where do you see it going, Erica, from this point forward? Do you think that it's going to draw more people to want to groom, either professionally or at home? Where do you see it going, even though it's still up in the air? What's your opinion? Where are we going?
I think it's interesting that you bring that up, because I happen to know that some of the groomers, just by, chatting and stuff, I think people are going to start grooming it and in home more. Mm-hmm. And I don't know if that's going to become a permanent solution, but it might be a temporary solution. Because frankly, a lot of groomers, I've been a business owner for 16 years. And so I've had a lot of groomers work for me, and I know their perspective. A lot of them, it's very similar. And a lot of them, they go into it. They do want autonomy. They want to work for themselves, but they don't want all the stuff that comes along with it. So they want to just go into work, groom their dogs, go home. Don't bother me with any of the other stuff. I get it. Otherwise, they'd be the business owner, right? So I think that in-home grooming for them, it's easier and it makes sense. And it also makes sense for the people who need their pets groomed and they can't necessarily get into the shops. However, like everything else, anything new that comes along has its challenges. And, I know everybody and their mother started doing the Amazon Fresh, the at-home grocery store shopping the moment everybody got sent home to COVID because of COVID. And then all of a sudden that whole system, it fell apart, and you couldn't, so because it wasn't prepared like everything else. Any other service wasn't prepared for the overload. So I think if that starts to happen, there's going to be new problems, new challenges, because people at home who just want their dogs groomed, most of them don't understand still till this day that it's an unregulated industry. You don't understand who you're asking to come groom your pet. You don't understand necessarily the qualifications or the energetic makeup of that person. You could be opening yourself up to such tremendous challenges, personally, as well as your pet. It's like, as a person who works with energy, as I am, and I'm a firm believer in this stuff, if you go to get a massage by someone who happens to, and their off time, be a very ugly and dark, sinister person, don't think for a second that those energies are not getting transferred into you as that person is massaging you and touching you. So you can take that and turn that into a situation where a person who maybe doesn't have the best energy is working on your pet. And there's reasons why they don't have to necessarily hit or cut your dog to make them feel bad, especially now in these times where we are ascending and our energies are becoming more pure. We are becoming more pure vessels. And so you're either going to absorb the light and become the light, or you're going to get darker and uglier and you're going to fall away, and you're going to be one of those people who takes a selfie off a cliff because you just don't really care about anything else. You only care about yourself. And those are the people that aren't going to exist anymore. So like anything else, I would suggest to people, and I still tell people today, whether you're going to come to my grooming shop or go somewhere else, and it's the same thing, whether you're going to invite a groomer, if you're going to invite a groomer into your house, whoever it is, just make sure that you have done your homework. Feel good about your choice. Make sure that you can say, all right, I did ask X, Y, and Z. I did ask about their certification. I did check their background. I did ask for at least 3 references. So those kinds of things are important. People shouldn't think so much about, well, this is my accessory and I need my living, breathing, sentient being of a dog that's an accessory. I need it to look good and I don't care who touches it or who rips its hair out. Like that can't fly anymore, because you're going to pay the price, because your pet's going to pay the price, and you're going to be heartbroken, or at least you should be heartbroken if your dog gets really, really hurt. You know, some people unfortunately care about the material stuff and the more stuff that doesn't matter.
Yeah. Well, you know what, Erica, the grooming industry is very lucky to have you because of your deep feelings towards what you do, and what you feel is just so essential.
You're very
in the grooming industry, it really is. And we totally agree with everything you're saying, because it's so important. I love your analogy, getting a massage from somebody who's not a good person. Definitely, they're just putting all that into you, and it's actually horrifying to think that. And I think the grooming industry, and again, it's the part of our whole thing with our grooming channel and our podcast, it really still has a lot. It's a long ways because of the no regulations. And as if it wasn't bad enough without being regulated, now you have this whole COVID thing happening. So it kind of distances us even further. But in a weird way, I think it's going to take the back road and get there even quicker. And I'm hoping that anyway. And with people like you and us, I think it's going to get there quicker. So again, it's just such a pleasure to have you with us, Erica, talking about it. Your insight is just amazing. We definitely want to have you on more, and so that
we can collaborate. We always say that.
We will. We'll collaborate, and we'll actually go through this like together. You know what I'm saying? Because I think that grooming isn't going anywhere. It really, it's a mainstay. It's necessary, obviously. And we have to definitely be the voice for these pets, these animals. We have to be their voice.
I agree.
And what a voice to have. So yours is amazing.
You as well, you guys. You're awesome. And I think we should do something where I want to do DIY videos for people to help them, just quick little snippets so they know how to take care of the pets at home while we're not around.
That's right.
Are you guys able to groom, by the way? I didn't even get to ask you. Are you open?
Yeah, it was. We've been back for how long now? It's all such a blur. Yeah,
6
something
weeks?
like that. Because we, just like you, Erica, it's about, we were shut down for about 6 weeks. And since it's just me and my dad here, we didn't have to. We were fortunate to not have to worry about the staff stuff that unfortunately you had to go through. So once we got the okay to reopen, we stayed open. It's still so rocky because so many. Just inundated with calls. And unfortunately, as well as I do, this business is not as easy to just say, oh, well, I'll come to your shop and help you, or I'll come to your shop and help you, because what about all the people that are in your, like somebody's shop is going to, it just doesn't work that way all the time, unfortunately.
Yeah, we're getting a lot of phone calls from other shops that haven't opened yet, so we're getting their customers, and the days of me grooming 10 dogs a day are far gone, Erica. I'm an old man now, and I'm trying to hang on.
Dude, I can barely do 5 a day. Are you kidding me? It's
exactly. That's
what
I'm saying. Yeah, exactly. So whoever wants to wait can wait, and whoever doesn't, I guess they'll have to find other means. But
kindness and patience goes a long way, and that's all we've ever asked. And I've asked of people, and those who can be kind and empathetic and understand, because there's honestly nothing else we can do. We help who we can help, and that we do what we can do, and that's it. And you can't do anything more than that. So I applaud you guys too, because you're out there and you're doing the right thing, and you're trying to get the word out for animals the right way, and make sure that they're taken care of the right way. So
that was our first response. Like when we got shut down, that was our first. It wasn't about money, and we've said this a few times so far in the shows that followed us being reopened, and people could choose to believe us or not. But our first reaction was, "What about the dogs? What do you mean? What do you mean we can't groom the dog? What about the dog?" It had nothing to do with money.
Yeah, they got poop stuck to their butts.
Yeah,
what do we
right.
do, you know?
No.
Right. It was, you know what it is? It's very easy to not be a groomer and say, oh, yeah, because haircuts aren't important right now. But it's like, yeah, you guys have never seen a nail get so long that it grows around and digs into the dog's pad.
That's right.
You know what I mean? Things like that. You've never seen an ear infection to the degree that we have, or anal glands being impacted, and now it's a vet visit. You know, just you know, I don't have to tell you. And those were the first things that started going through our minds. Oh my God, we have a few dogs that are 15 years old that come in every 2 weeks because they just need it because they have growths and they burst and they need to be cleaned and
I know.
things like that. And that was our first reaction. What about him? And what about her? And oh my God. And we didn't want to get in trouble either. And we didn't know what to do. we were, we thought, okay, should we open anyway? It's for the goodness of the dogs. But then if we get shut down further, then it's just the dogs are stuff. There was no right answer. And,
I know. It's true.
It was just a scary time. And that's why we're really hoping that going forward, and through our channel and through people like you, Erica, who are very good at saying things, to put it simply, you're very good at putting your thoughts out there. Hopefully, through people like us, we can teach.
You're deep, Erica. That's awesome quality.
That's nice. I'm glad you appreciate me. I think I'm too deep for some people sometimes, but
not at all.
I know what I want to say when it comes to the animals. So for me, doing this for them, it's easy and is a no-brainer. There was a time where I was very, very introverted and extremely bad at any sort of public speaking, which I probably still would be if it were on any other subject matter, honest to God. So I appreciate the forum that you give me and the fact that you even think I have interesting things to say and can help our industry and our pets. So thank you. You guys are wonderful. And if I can ever do anything further in this capacity, I'm always here. Let me know, because I'm trying to figure this stuff out too, you guys. So maybe we can figure it out together.
For sure.
Of course.
For sure. Yeah. Thank you, Erica.
So really quick before we go, Erica, where can people find you if they haven't heard our first episode with you? Yeah, where can your website, your Facebook, all that stuff?
Yeah, so I have a website at justforpawspetspa.com, and that's spelled JUST, the number 4, PAWSPETSPA.com. You can find me on LinkedIn as well, Erica Salvemini. And I also have a blog on the website, on our Just for Paws website. We're also on Instagram. So I post a lot of meditative stuff. You guys say you like the deep stuff I put out there, and I have started writing more. So you can check out my blog. You might dig that. And you might also dig some of my posts on LinkedIn, because a lot of it has to do with a lot of different subject matters, not just about the animals and the pets, but also just about transition and about all the stuff that's happening now to all of us and all the stuff that we were talking about here today. So if anybody's interested, check it out. And, we go from there. The struggle in our business is real. The animals still need the help, and, we can make a change. So I'm all for it. I'm ready. I'm ready to roll with my sleeves, man. Let's go. Let's go get them.
Me too. Let's fight the good fight.
That's it. Let's do it.
Yep.
With that said, thank you so much for stopping by, guys. Thank you to Erica Salvemini, our wonderful guest today. Always so profound and always just such a wonder to listen to. As always, we'd like to thank our producer, Mark Winter. Thank you so much, Mark. If you guys haven't already, head on over to our YouTube channel. It's called Grooming by Rudy. That's Grooming by Rudy on YouTube.com. Leave a comment, like, share, subscribe. We want to hear from all you guys. You could also like Grooming by Rudy on Facebook, follow Grooming by Rudy on Instagram and Twitter. It has been an absolute pleasure. And until next time, take care of yourselves and your pets.
Let's Talk Pets, every week on demand, only on PetLifeRadio.com.